The Joe Rogan Experience.
The US is in a recession at the moment, but it's not allowed to be called a recession.
Well, the government's trying to not call it a recession, but it's...
Wikipedia article got changed. You see this?
Really?
Oh, dude.
No.
So
they redefined recession?
Yep. So recession used to be 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth.
Right. Not anymore?
Not on Wikipedia.
When was this?
Jamie, get the Wikipedia-y thing up, because this is wild.
How long ago did they change it?
This weekend.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I saw it got locked because people were fucking with it, is what I read. But I don't know how much of that was. But this is the definition when you type in Google, which is the same thing.
Uh-huh.
So a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP in 2 successive quarters. So in Google, it's still the same. In Wikipedia, let's look at what it says.
Okay, before they get to the definition in Wikipedia, hello, welcome to Mika Reacts Reviews, where we react to reviews of things on the internet, same day, same shirt, different video. And today we're reacting to Joe Rogan and Chris Williamson. I believe I reacted to both of these men on this channel. Chris Williamson is sort of a part of the Manosphere, I think, and Joe Rogan is Joe Rogan, the bald multi-millionaire podcaster that we always love and sometimes hate. No, I always love him. Other people have a love-hate relationship with him. But they're talking about the fact that someone is trying to change the definition of recession in Wikipedia. Who is it? I don't know. Maybe it's just some random one-off lefty who wants to protect Biden's reputation. Maybe it is someone who got paid from a government official. I don't know who did it, but someone is trying to change the definition of Wikipedia, and I believe there was like 50-something edits in one day or something like that. I have the article up and I posted it on my community tab on my YouTube channel. And so, I mean, the thing is, Wikipedia has a reputation of not being taken so seriously, but Wikipedia is still heavily used for research. I even sometimes use Wikipedia for research. And so, but the reason why you have to kind of look at it skeptically is because I think anyone can edit Wikipedia, right? Like, you can just kind of add what you want. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that anyone can edit Wikipedia. I don't think you have to be like an admin or anything like that. Maybe, just correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think you do. Anyway, because elections are coming up, midterms are coming up, and then after that, you know, the presidential election will be right around the corner. Like, time is going by so fast. And so they want to protect the Democrats' legacy, so no Republican candidate can say the word recession to sort of boost their own campaign or make the other side look bad or whatever. And so it's ridiculous that they're trying to change the definition of things. This has been happening a lot. They changed the definition of a female, and I believe Webster Dictionary, they changed the definition of racism because we live in 1984. That's what they're basically talking about. We're gonna get right back into it, but before you do, if you like type of videos, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the description box below and sometimes in the comment section. Of course it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop, links down below, and links to all of the alternative platforms I'm on. My socials, including my Twitter, all the ways to support me and all the ways to contact me for business is always in the links down below. Other than that, sit back, relax, and continue to enjoy the video. All right, here we go.
Recession is a business cycle contraction where there's a general decline in economic activity. Recessions generally occur when there is a widespread drop in spending or an adverse demand shock. This may be triggered by various events such as financial crisis, an external trade shock, an adverse supply shock, bursting. Okay, here it is. A recession is defined by the National Bureau of Economic Research as a significant decline in economic activity spread across the market lasting more than a few months. Normally visible in real GDP, real income, employment, industrial production, and wholesale retail sales. So
in the UK,
it's defined as that.
In the UK, it's defined as a negative economic growth for 2 consecutive quarters. So
that got changed.
So that's what's changed, that the United States used to define it as 2 consecutive quarters, and now we don't anymore?
And people have pulled it up on the archive. So a bunch of advisors, economic advisors, have got quotes of them saying what a recession is, especially when Donald Trump was in office, that there is a recession that's coming. It's negative GDP growth for 2 consecutive quarters.
Right.
And then this weekend, people are asking them, are we in a recession? Because the second quarter economics just came out, and it's 0.9 decline again.
Have you seen the White House press secretary define the economy as being strong and the best economy we've had in over a decade? Have you seen her do that?
No.
It's hilarious. It's like the wildest gaslighting, because she's doing all of these political hand maneuvers that people do. You know those moves that people do with their hands when they're talking and they're trying to display like confidence and control. And there's like, it's literally like political pantomiming. It's weird to watch.
Tai Chi and political Tai Chi.
Yeah, it's weird to watch because it's like sleight of hand. It's very bizarre.
You think they've been trained in that? Some neuro-linguistic programming? If you put your hands here when you're saying this sort of a thing, blah, blah, blah?
I don't know if there's clearly an indication that that's what you would do if you were trained, but I think it's more mimicking.
I mean, I think there are people who are trained in that. I think that people, because like even this, human beings are very easily programmed. Like, I know like people don't like to see themselves as that, but human beings are very, very easily programmed. Even littlest things like retail. I used to work in retail, and there were professional people who went to college to go to retail shops and rearrange things that would mostly influence a customer. By color, by position of mannequin, by color pairing, by the way the tables were positioned, that people will study the psyche of human beings, do what is the most influential. So do I think people are literally trained or study hand gestures that signal empathy or power? Yeah, I do, because they say like, you know, the body language expert, like when you're closed off like this, then you're closed off, then you're hiding something. You know, when you're more open, you're more confident, you're more trusting, stuff like that. There's even a YouTube video. One of the reasons why I try to show my hands a lot, because they said that if you show your hands a lot and move around, it keeps the audience from sort of zoning out, and it keeps their attention and makes you look more friendly and stuff like that. Like, I move my hand naturally, but sometimes I do catch myself just doing this and have to remind to put my hands up. That's literally like a YouTube course or class. So there are experts that will say, like, do your hands like this, move like this, to project whatever emotion you want the audience to feel. Like, it's all theater. It's all a fucking stage. But anyway, let's continue.
It's mimicking like the great presidents and the great politicians who have done these very specific things. Like Bill Clinton famously used to do this thing with his fingers. He'd take his thumb and do this and do that. So it's not aggressive and violent because you can't really hit someone with this. But if you were doing this, it'd be a problem. That's problematic. That's angry, right, with the pointing the finger. The fist is a sign of violence. But this thing is this weird, like a mushy.
Well, the bizarre thing about the recession situation is the fact that it doesn't matter what you call it, right? You can call it fucking paradise if you want, but it's still shit.
Right.
Like, all of the criteria of what's happening indicates a recession.
Yes.
And the reason, obviously, is that you've got midterms coming up, and you need to make sure that is in a recession is not something that can be thrown at the Democrats.
Yes, right.
It's a protectionist strategy.
Yes. So no, don't use that word.
Well, it's not. It's not, because it's not defined in that way.
Right.
That's not the accepted definition.
Stopping it there, I wanted to go back when you said about the gaslighting thing. We have been gaslit for years now, especially in the last few years with the whole global virus. Like, they have just settled on gaslighting at this point. Like, just say one thing that is completely obviously not the truth. Just, you didn't see it, it never happened because we said so.
Nothing to see here, please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
Oh, but anyway, let's continue.
Right.
Well, it was until very, very, very recently.
That's wild. Well, that's gaslighting. And just that alone, you know, is people would think that it's trivial because they are talking about this economic downturn, but it's not trivial because we've always used that term recession. And we've always used that term to define whether or not the economic policies that are currently in place and whether or not the management and the government has done a good job of making sure that the economy stays in a good place. They definitely haven't done that. So in order to escape that, that sort of distinction, They're literally changing the definition, which is terrible. And it should be pushed back against in a big way. It should be something that people get angry about. Like, hey, you're fucking with definitions in order to pretend that you're doing a good job.
Well, the reason that you attach a sequence of letters to something, right, is to represent what that thing is. You don't change reality by changing what those words actually mean.
Right.
But if you can't control the economy, you might as well just control the language and hope for the best.
God. What a bunch of weasels.
Changing language does, in fact, change reality. Just look at biology. It does change reality. That's why we should push back against people trying to change language or change the definition of language. Yes, some language naturally just evolve as society evolves. Like the word FAG used to be used for smoking cigarettes, right? We don't really use it for that anymore, not as much unless you're trying to be like a hipster, right? The word gay used to mean happy. No one really uses it for happy anymore. So some words naturally change, but some words are being forced to change because of political ideology and power grabbing. But anyway, let's continue.
Dude, it's wild. But again, this is I think because everybody's opinions and their words now are what everyone's judged on, not their deeds, right? We used to be judged on our deeds because they were the things that were the most obvious. But now, because social media is one of the primary forms of communication, people are judged on their opinions and their words far more. And what that means is that your opinion is actually, and the language specifically that you use, it's way more important than actually what's happening in the world. And if that's the case, what it means is that language should be the focus. Why wouldn't I lexically try and do some Brazilian jiu-jitsu to fuck around with this? A little bit of semantic fuckery. Why not? Well, because that's going to actually change the thing that most people are taking notice of.
He's absolutely right. It's virtue signaling. You don't have to actually do anything good. You don't necessarily have to be good, even though I think most people are good people. But you don't actually have to do anything. You just have to virtue signal or just signal that I am good by using the right words, by using the right pronouns, by having the right hashtags in your bio. This is a signal that I am good, and I'm using all the right language to signal that I am a good person. It doesn't really matter, your deeds anymore. Again, I've said this multiple times. I've hung out with the most progressive people. Within an hour, they turn into absolute assholes because they're not as virtuous as all their words and hashtags and pronouns are. They're just using that to cover up their fucking assholeness and how miserably angry they always are. And so, yeah, it doesn't really matter who you are anymore. It's just what matters what you say. And as he said, that we then, if that's the case, we should pay more attention to the words. That's why even things like legalese exist. Legalese is language that police officers and lawyers and judges and courtrooms use. And if you're not aware of this, then you can be manipulated because you think they're saying one thing, but they're not. They're using legalese. They're using legal language, right? And so, yeah, it is really important. And that's why a lot of politicians, especially someone like Kamala Harris, does things like word salad because to try to confuse you and make it seem like she's saying a lot of something, but she's really saying a lot of nothing. Someone like Greta Thunberg, who doesn't really say much of anything, but she says it with a passion, and she yells, and she's really angry, and she's very young. And so you take that and go, she's a good person because of what she's saying and how she's saying it instead of what her actions or deeds she's actually doing in her own life, in her own personal life. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think of this video, what I said, what he said, what they said in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the description box below. Also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support the channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below, and links to all of the internal platforms I'm on, my socials, including my Twitter, other ways to support me, other ways to contact me for business, is always in the links down below. I also have a second travel vlog channel, I travel as a lifestyle, or I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go in the description box below. Also in the comment section, hit the link, go subscribe to my travel vlog channel, and or follow me on my travel Instagram. My stories is usually what's most up to date, and I also have my other channel, Speak Freely, links down below. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye.